during the Mali insurrection. In times of war and peace, Crystal continues to innovate at sea. The ship designs of Anton Sokolov himself now represents the highest standard in the whaling trade, allowing crews to haul their kills up over the deck and begin their butchering and processing, even as the ship returns to Dunwall. The crews can be seen working on their latest whale as the ship moves slowly up the Wrenhaven River, coming to dock with one of the powerful warehouse companies, such as the Grievous Whaling House. Suspended in the rig overhead and backlit by a setting sun, the silhouette of one of these creatures make a moving sight as it cruises to its final resting place in the industrial heart of the capital city. Well. And A Gaffer's Tale, Volume 1. Except from a travel journey of a young whaler. A Gaffer's Tale, Volume 1, or Gaffer's Early Adventures. My sister Nina and I lived Tuvia together, saying goodbye to our aunt, the woman who had raised us since childhood, leaving behind our home city of yore, and the cold but beautiful white landscape we have always known. We boarded a ship from Dunwall. Our parents had left us with a sizable inheritance, and we spent half of this getting to the capital city and establishing a small importing shop dedicated to Tuvian furs. Once I helped Nina establish the business, I was free to pursue my dream. Signing on with a whaling ship was the most exciting thing I have ever done, and I saw it as a means to an end. Someday I would captain my own crew, and eventually own a fleet of similar vessels. With tears in her eye, Nina kissed me farewell, and I did not see her again for many months. As an apprentice to the gaffer, I got to see the tracking and killing of the great beast up close. Nothing had ever fired my spirit so as the wind and pounding waves, racing after a wounded whale, being pulled by a skin of cables in its thick flesh. I changed more in those first 7 months than I had in the previous 7 years. Whaling was beginning to put its mark on me, so that Nina barely recognized me when I returned, tanned and shiny with muscles, weather creases already wrinkling the corners of my eye, but she could see that I was filled with joy, having found my purpose. Well, that's the first one. Exception from the travel journey of a whaler in his final years. The Gaffer's Final Passage. After more than quarter of a century, I'm done with whaling. Too broken to continue. I have seen all the corners of the Isles, and made more coin than most men see in a lifetime, but it's all gone. I have lived through an emperor and watched his daughter take the throne. Fair young empress she was, but slain so young. Everything beautiful comes to die. I have eaten in every port of the known world, and sailed in the loneliest waters you could imagine. I've seen the cliffs around Pandusia. Even the best of it doesn't give me an ounce of joy. The years come back across my dreams as a line of butchered bodies, long, sleek, and singing among the waves under the moonlight, only to speared by ugly, weathered, scarred men who knife each other for a good pair of boots. Each year I had less time to come home. My tongue forgot the language of small chatter, and those who lived in the cities thought me odd. My sister Nina hardly knew what to say to me during our visit. When she lost her business to the Lord Regent's crooked barrister, I was 100 miles east of Mali, gaffed a hand, frozen from the sleet as we tracked the first bull whale. we'll see in a month. I helped her as much as I could, but Nina died in the early days of the plague. None of it mattered. If I'm jaded and bitter, it is because this industry has taken away my dreams. The world has beaten me. Well, that was not a happy ending. And Harblock's log entry. It has been days since our men were dispatched to stash weapons for Corvo in the old sewers. They have not returned, so I can only hope that they have succeeded in getting the packages delivered. Pierre spent considerable time and resources making those things. If I could find a way to mass produce them, then Dunwall Navy would secure its place as dominant force on the globe. But back to Corvo. Can he actually break out of the cauldron? And if so, would he make his way here? I personally give him odds of 1 in 5. Well, I did get here. Now. Yes. Let's just quickly pick up a few things here. More on the... Hello.
Pleased to meet you, Master Corvo. I saw you at court in happier days, but you might not remember. I was once a close ally to the Lord Regent, Hiram Burroughs, back when he was just the spy master. He's one manipulative bastard, I can tell you that. There's something distinguished about you, Corvo. Was there nobility back in your family line? I wouldn't be surprised. Did you know I'm distant kin to the late Empress and her line? Not close enough, sadly. I'll never be emperor. Most of the nobility went straight over to the Lord Regent's side after the Empress died. Easiest thing to do. But to me, a noble birth requires a sense of loyalty. This city has fallen into ruin since the plague struck. These poor weepers moaning and bleeding from the eyes. They say there's no cure for the plague once it advances that far. Terrible.
Well, let's hear this.
My furnishings have been installed at last with no small amount of complaining by that antiquated boatman. The others have no idea what it's like to suffer as I have. Speaking of which... Wallace! Please breathe 2 bottles of Dunwall Red, never mind which, and fetch a clean glass. Well, I'll begin again tomorrow.
I don't think we've seen Wallace yet. He should be around somewhere, at least at some point. He's basically his servant. Maybe he's downstairs. I'm just gonna quickly look around. Well, we found another one.
The Admiral served in the Navy under the Empress. But something happened with the Lord Regent that drove the Admiral out.
Attention all citizens.
If I understand it right.
From sundown to
Admiral Havelock made it very clear that we aren't to carry lamps outside.
Violators will be
Maybe you haven't seen much of it, but the city has changed a great deal after the Empress died. Since the Lord Regent took over, the city watch is best avoided. Most people try not to go outside at all.
City watch is best stabbed.
We can't leave the pub. I've nowhere to go anyway. My apartment was in the flooded district.
Well, unlucky you. The flooded district is, well, not a nice place, since it was flooded and there's no order anymore, and basically filled with plague and things like that. Some Giuliano. That gives some money. There's 2 more characters in this area we haven't met. I think one of them is up near the room. I don't know where Wallace is right now, but he's the last one except that, so let's just make our way up. And that is basically just go this way.
Attention, citizens of Dunwall. The Old Port District has been added to the evacuation list. The Weeper count for the month of siege has increased. The Lord Regent has decreed that plague ordinances will remain in effect through the month of rain. Stay alert and stay loyal.
Maybe not. Well, I don't know where the 2 last are right now. Might be over in the tower. I'll go have a look. Else I'll find them later. Well, there's a few more books here to read.